and governments were not taking stronger action. And even for me, I felt depressed. I didn't feel like speaking, because in some ways you do lose hope. But Tibetans inside Tibet still give that hope, despite being under that much pressure, where these lyrics, just lyrics, can sentence you for 6 years. The famous Tibetan singers are burning their bodies on fire because there is no freedom. They cannot flee their homeland. And therefore, for us, we must regain our energies. We must reconnect with each other, teach our children about the story of Tibet, and that Tibetans inside Tibet from all walks of life rose up. Our next guest is Dibesh Anand, Professor of Westminster University, who is a strong, long-time ally for Tibet and has held many seminars to promote discussions on Tibet, and I would like to thank him again for being here today.
Thank you for having me here. In fact, I should be thanking you all and all the Tibet supporters here. So not Tibetans, but Tibet supporters should be thanking you for giving us the opportunity of being in solidarity with you. And the reason why, because your cause is more than your cause. Your cause, of course, is your survival. It is about your identity, your culture, your religion, your politics, your freedom and everything. But your cause is wider than that. Your cause is challenging a political system that denies the basic humanity to everyone, including its own Han Chinese citizens. It denies identity to Uyghurs. It denies identity now to people in Hong Kong. And of course, it has denied identity to Tibetans for long. Now, it denies identity, but not saying that you don't exist. It denies identity by saying you exist, but only on the terms set by the Beijing. And that term set is basically you are a colorful minority. Now, I know we are marking 63rd anniversary of Tibetan uprising, but the fact is colonial occupation of Tibet started in 1951, not 1959. Now, of course, it's important to remember that because we would see that often Tibetans have had hope, and I understand hope is the only vehicle sometimes people have who are occupied, oppressed, and dehumanized. Tibetans had hope between 1951 and 1959 that a compromise with Beijing can work. For those of us who are historians, and that includes Tibetans and non-Tibetans, we would know that from very beginning of 1951, PLA and Beijing, the Communist Party in Beijing, was clear that the compromise will not work. So 1951, the 17-point agreement was essentially a ruse to wait for the time when you have PLA's complete occupation over Tibet, and then you can overthrow the Tibetan government of the Dalai Lama. So it was never about uprising per se that led to the overthrow. Even if uprising had not taken place in 59, Chinese government would have overthrown the traditional system. So that's what we have to remember, because sometimes, again, in desperation, we may think that if only things had not happened, maybe we could have had compromise with China. So 51 is the crucial aspect more than 1959. But what 1959 shows, and it will show us again, is all efforts, and it's good to have efforts, all efforts for dialogue, negotiation, unless it's done as equals, will not